1970, we sure we did the forefront. Knowledge for selfish, for sure we did the work. Auditorium to basement of all faculty of law. We did represent, stand tall anywhere we go. Work hard and we shine, commitment, dedication. Neurosurgery, comedy, music, Nollywood. SOTK, Dr. Call, MC Casino. We did represent, stand tall anywhere we go. Great Uniben, great Uniben, great Uniben, great Uniben.
Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of the Uniben Alumni Series. This is a show where we promote the University of Benin while also celebrating the rich alumni community that the institution has. And on today's episode, I'm with a man of different interesting paths. He's a medical doctor. He holds his MBBS from the College of Medical Sciences, University of Benin. Is into football management. Yeah, that's why I said interesting part. He's the founder of Pagel, a fintech company. He's the chairman of the board of directors of Inspire Talent Football Club in the United Kingdom. And he's the director and chairman of Golden Titans Football Club of Lagos. He's Dr. Louis Osaeni Aikoriogie. I hope I got that correctly. Aikoriogie, yes, I think so. Thank you, Dr. Louis, for joining us today.
It's my pleasure to be here with the great alumnus of the University of Benin.
Thank you, my brother. Like I said in your introduction, your career, your path, quite interesting. A medical doctor, a man who specializes in football management. How did a medical doctor get into football management? I think let's start from there. How did you get into football management?
Yeah, good question. So for those who actually know me, growing up, I would always like football. So those who actually followed my development from year one University of Benin down to the point we graduated would know that I can even play football the morning of my professional exams. I've always been a lover of football, but even while I was in secondary school down to university days. So football has always been something I'd love to do, even as someone who wants to play active football and also manage other people who play football. So I think the idea of going into football management came to me about 3 years ago, where I felt that I've gained so much weight I cannot actively play football, but I need to be in the business sector of football. So I thought, why is that the best thing for me to do now is to actually look at other ways where I could be active in terms of football management. And I felt that holding a football club, or better still being an intermediary between players and other football clubs, would be something I would want to put some of my energy into. So I attempted writing the FIFA agency exam, and that's the qualifying exams that make you an agent. At some point, I had a second thought. I said, okay, fine. Instead of me being an agent, why don't I just look at owning a football club with a couple of friends and see how much we could give back to the society. So that was really how the decision of starting a football management course came from. And again, while I was a student in Quantic School of Business and Technology, it's a US-based university. So as part of the module, we look at entrepreneurship and business development. So I've been thinking, outside medicine, what can one do that doesn't take too much of your time, but also gives you the leverage to more like make money, what we call side also. So I felt that football management is something that aligns with my passion, and it will be an easy venture for me to get into. So that's the reason and how I actually find myself doing football management today.
Okay, interesting one, I must say. Let's talk about Inspired Talents Football Club. I know it's based in Belfast or so, and it emphasizes on a minority. Can you give us more light? Can you throw more light on that? What the football club is about?
And so, Inspire Talent Football Club, it's as you would normally see online, it's a minority-based football club. Big name for something as simple as getting people who are rather in the minority group coming together to form a football club. So you've got lots of refugees, you've got black and ethnic minority groups like those from Sudan, Somalia, and all of those persons coming together to actually form a football club to compete in the Irish football league. So that's basically the whole essence of it being a minority football club. So it's purely run by blacks and minority ethnic groups, from the coaching crew down to each of the players. However, it's going to change in the future, but at the moment, it's largely a minority-based football club where you have players drawn from different ethnic groups that are not actually majority in the country as it stands now. But it may change. The dynamics of the football club may change in the future, but at the moment, it's largely run by minority group.
Okay. What level of football are they at the top tier league, or what level are they right now?
So according to the current structure, we sit at tier 3/tier 4 football strata in terms of the Irish FA. So the way it's structured is that you have the Premiership, which is equivalent to the Barclays Premier League in England. Then you have the Championship, which is equivalent to the EFL. And then you have the Premier Intermediate, which is the third tier of football. And we play in the fourth tier/third tier. It's a Premier Intermediate sort of football that we play. So if you're able to win your league, you promote to the next level of the standing, which is the Premier Intermediate. Then we're just 2 steps away from the Premiership.
No, that's a good one. Let's talk about the club based in Lagos, Golden Titans Football Club. I'm quite aware how it's difficult when it comes to financing. I want to talk about financing. To finance a football club in Nigeria, how are you able to manage the financing of Golden Titans?
Okay, so Golden Titans Football Club, it's more of an academy rather than a full-fledged football club. So we're more into talent development. So we look at young lads who are good in playing football from the ages of about 13 to about 21. And it's more of a residential academy, being that you bring all of the players, you aggregate them from every part of Nigeria, put them in a camp and get them to train for a couple of months, and you invite scouts to come see them. And if they are lucky enough, they get picked and they transcend the shores of Nigeria and go overseas to play football. So in terms of, just to answer your question, in terms of financing the football club at the moment, the model that we're actually adopting is more like they put resources from individuals. So you could have a player that you are very much interested in, as Omokaro Kevin, and you are interested in developing a player from Benin, for example. So you could speak to the management of the academy and say, I have a player that I'm very much interested in. I will be able to sponsor this player for his period of stay in the academy until he's able to get some sort of professional contract. I will be responsible for every amount of money that is needed to keep him afloat in the academy for the time being. So it's more put resources from well-meaning Nigerians and other of my friends and business partners to actually keep the academy running for the time being. So, but as we progress in business, we're going to develop more sophisticated model in terms of financing for the football club.
Okay, I understand you are still part of the Irish Dental Medical. You have your medical practice with them, or your training with them. Now you are managing 2 football clubs. How do you manage your time? How do you do these things?
Yeah, so it's quite time demanding. She rightly picked up from my regimen. So I currently train as a specialist emergency medicine registrar. I'm currently in my ST4 year. which will be commencing from August. So I still have 2 years more to go to become a consultant in emergency medicine. So, and my primary employer is the Northern Ireland Medical and Dental Training Agency. So the way, I don't know how much you know about the residency program in Nigeria, that's just similar to what we do here. So the emergency medicine training is 6 years, and I'm currently entering my 4th year at the moment. So in terms of finding time to manage all of this, it all boils down to delegating functions. So I can't be everywhere at the same time. So what I've employed is to pay people sometimes to take responsibility of managing some of the activities, especially the one in Nigeria. So while I play more like an oversight role in terms of meeting with them virtually, and sometimes when I'm able to make the journey down to Nigeria, I also hop on the plane and get to Lagos to see how the football club is doing. So my mantra is whatever you have love for, you always make time for it. That's basically what I believe in.
Definitely. You are leading football clubs. You are involved in your own personal professional ventures. How did the University of Benin prepare you for these responsibilities?
So I owe a great deal of my development of who I am today to University of Benin. So without University of Benin, I won't even have MBBS Benin in the first place. So that was the citadel that actually granted me my foundational degree to expose me to the world. So University of Benin, as I would often argue, gave us the bedrock in terms of not just exposing us to medical knowledge, also gave us people call it resilience, gave us the resilience to survive in any environment. So I told you earlier on at the beginning of the interview that I was a football-loving person.
Yeah.
The University of Benin gave us that platform to actually play football. There were times where the director of sports in the University of Benin would go all out. She would literally knock on the VC's office and say, my medical students are going for national medical games. And you have to provide the funds and the buses for them to ensure that they participate in this. So she I think I can't remember her name on top of it.
Dr. Mrs. Igbase.
So she was so passionate in terms of allowing people, irrespective of the department, to participate in sports, and that was what actually exposed most of us to sport management. Seeing how she was so passionate about it actually gave us the zeal to pick it up as something that we could be interested in the future. So University of Benin cannot be taken out of the discussion whenever it comes to developing us who actually went through that institution.
Okay, let's go to the very beginning. Why medicine and why University of Benin? Was it because you are from Edo State? Was it a matter of proximity for you? That's why you chose University of Benin. Or was there something special that you saw in the institution and said, "Oh, I want to have my MBBS from here"?
It's a combination of both proximity and also being one of the best institutions at that time offering medical education. So, as you would all agree, University of Benin is still one of the best institutions when it comes to medical education in Nigeria. You can't take that away from them. The different degree holders from that school has gone on to be the best in their respective specialty. In terms of being cardiologists, neurologists, or neurosurgeons. So looking at those who have gone ahead of us and picking the JAM form, filling the JAM form. Initially, I actually wanted to go to University of Lagos. Had a chat with my dad, and it was like, all fine and good, we support you if you want to go there. But as along the line, as I was about submitting the JAM form, I had a second thought that I haven't really been to Lagos that much. I do not know lots of people in Lagos. It would be easier for me to run home to get food. So I was like, okay, fine. The best I could do is to pick something that's very close to the house, and whenever I'm stranded, I can just run home and say, fine. I would just get what I need. the interesting part of this is this. I would not leave most of my friends do not know. I didn't want to study medicine in the first place. It wasn't medicine in the first place. I wanted to do what we call engineering, electrical electronic engineering. So growing up as a child, my dad and my mom can attest to this. I literally pieces everything that is electronic and try to reassemble them. I just break them into pieces, and I want to see what's the science behind all of this radio that is talking, the television that is showing pictures. So I had this flair for wanting to know what exactly is the makeup of anything scientific. So I was choosing to do electrical electronic engineering. At some point, my dad had a conversation with me. He said, "Why don't you consider medicine?" I was like, "I don't think I have the brain to do medicine." He said, "Those who are doing medicine do not have two heads, so you could actually get into it." So that was in my SS2 year. So I literally just switched, and that was it. That's how I found myself doing medicine. And the first year was a struggle, but afterwards it became more like a walk in the park, and that's me today, being a doctor roughly now for 10 years.
Okay. Still your time at the institution. You talked about getting involved in football, especially the competitions, the national games you're involved and all that. How were you able to manage your time, your academic, and now football? Because we all know that medicine is quite demanding. It's quite, yes. So how were you able to manage your time and also graduated well and doing so well after graduation?
I would say I was one of the. I would say I was the brightest in my class, but I wasn't. I wasn't a dull student.
Yeah.
I was in University of Benin. Again, I have been someone that loved juggling so many things, different balls at the same time. While I was in University of Benin, I was very much active in the student union parliament, and I did politics. And I was also one time the national vice president of all medical students in Nigeria. So in terms of striking a balance between academics and all of those different activities that I was doing, it all boils down to appropriating time for the best things that you think comes first. It's all skill of preference. Um, Overall, I wasn't a dull student, I would say so. So I think I was brilliant enough to know how to manage my time in terms of participating in church activity, politics, and sporting activities. So it all came down to appropriate time management, and that's what I would say. I was able to actually manage my time, appropriate time for everything, and again, I didn't have any sort of repeat in any class, and I didn't have to actually fail any exam in medical school. So I think it has to do with striking a balance between all of this, and also not forgetting that I was a medical student.
Yeah, yeah. There's a regular question that comes up on this show, which is what you learned, what the institution taught you, what attribute you took from the institution.
Yeah, so what University of Benin taught me, we call it it gave us this street sense. It's more like street sense. You can't actually read it from book. So from transitioning from O4 to medical, clinical step, and all of those everyday learning, it's not something that you can read from any management book or leadership book anywhere in the world. So I think University of Benin taught us resilience and ability to withstand harsh environments. It also taught us being the best that you could be, and gave us the ability to actually bring so many things together at the same time. Why not forgetting your primary assignment? As I rightly said, being involved in politics, church activities with the Christian Union, NIFES, and also being someone who loves sport and played football. So all of these things were things that the University of Benin actually inculcated in us, and I don't think there is any school in the world that would have been able to better groom us other than the University of Benin.
Okay. Let's talk about your fintech company. What inspired you to go into finance technology, and how is the company going today? You're one of several progressive paths. Well, this, yeah. How did you get into fintech?
So in terms of the fintech, it's something that's still within the pipeline. I'm still working with some of my friends to ensure that it comes to fruition. So basically, whenever I was whenever I was doing my house job in Abuja, so I had the opportunity to meet with some of my friends in Abuja who were not doctors. They were largely into tech. So every time they're having conversation regarding what the problems are and how technology could be the answers to some of these problems. So I'd looked and say, okay, fine, what are actually the main issues surrounding the tech space in Nigeria? And I felt that the ease of payment may be one of the greatest problems, especially if, say, for example, we have lots of students who are traveling from Nigeria to other parts of the world. They have to go to black market to buy dollars to be able to get school fees and all of those things. So we're looking at, okay, is it possible to streamline all of these payment processes where you do not have to actually go to the black market to get stuff done, but you can do it online? So that was what initially gave me the idea to venture into tech. I do not have lots of knowledge in tech, but I work with people who have lots of knowledge. So what I do is the business aspect of things, and then there are other persons who do the technical bit of it. So that's basically it.
Okay, we're gradually coming to the end of the interview. I would like to go back to football again because I'm very keen on your quest into football. This is for the Nigerian Football League. You are part of the broader football conglomerate in Nigeria right now. The FIFA Club World Cup is going on in the US, and unfortunately, there's no Nigerian club. The African representatives are from North Africa and South Africa. What has been the challenge? Before now, I think in the early 2000s, we had the Aimbas doing very well in the continent. But after then, we have seen this decline in Nigerian football. And in some quarters, they associate this decline to management, poor management, government interference, and all. From your own perspective, what do you think has been the challenges facing the Nigerian football?
Yeah, as you rightly said, I would also toe the lines of those who have argued in the fact that government interference has been one of the bane of our progress. It's been one of the major issues surrounding most of the football clubs in Nigeria. If you take a cursory look of all of the list of football clubs currently playing in the Nigeria Professional Football League, they are largely owned by government, state government. So whenever you have a governor who is a sport-loving person, the club tend to do well. But once they leave office and you get another one who do not buy into the vision of football, you see a sudden decline in the football club. So that's why one of my distant mentors, I do not sit under his tutelage, but I actually like the way he's come into the football management space. Is the owner of Remo Stars Football Club. So you could see that this man has an established template that he's trying to work on, and you could testify to the fact that Remo Stars Football Club has been up there within the last 3 to 4
Yes.
and thankfully they were rewarded with the NPFL trophy just this last season. So I think it all boils down to the management, and again, arguing in support of those who say that the government is interfering too much in football. I would say the solution to it is that we need more individuals and more businesses to take up football management in Nigeria. That's the only time you will see most of these football clubs actually doing well and going transcending the shores of Nigeria to the continent and lifting trophies. And if you remember, it was the time of Governor Orji Uzor-Kalu.
Yes.
That was when he was a football enthusiast who went out of his way, not just being a governor. Sometimes he would even travel with the team to some of the African countries whenever they are playing their CAF Champions League. So those sort of appearances actually has a way of motivating players to give in their best. So if you have a businessman who has all of the monies to throw around, I think probably investing in the local talent in Nigeria would be a good ground to start from.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Saini Aikoriogie. It has been wonderful speaking with you. Thank you for creating time to be part of the show.
Thank you for having me.
I've been speaking with the chairman of Chairman of the Board of Directors, Inspired Talents Football Club, and Director, Chairman, Golden Titans Football Club. Is a man of several progressive paths. Is Dr. Louis Usaini Aikoriogie. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Stay tuned. We'll bring you more exclusive interviews of Uniben alumni. Bye for now.
1972, we sure we did the forefront. Knowledge for self-peace, for sure we did the work. Auditorium to basement of all faculty of law.